Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to circles. So, first thing I want to talk about is how to find them. So, for example, the area, which would be, all of that stuff inside. So, if you're thinking of a pizza, it would be all the toppings and cheese and stuff. And that's where we use pi r squared. And the circumference, which would be the whole crust, which is why I like C for crust, that's 2 pi r. Now, for what we're going to do these days, we're going to use pi, and we're going to set it equal to 3.14, so that it's a much longer number, so if you typed it into your calculator, you'd probably get a slightly different response. So let's start with a shape. Let's start with a circle. Okay, so here's my circle. Within my circle, I have something called a diameter. Oh, I got 2 circles, even better, maybe. Okay, so we have a diameter which goes straight across. So for example, this diameter would be 10 inches. Versus if we have another circle, okay, what happens is that if you go from any point in the middle to the side, it's going to be half of the diameter because we only go halfway across. So instead of going from one end of the room to the other halfway, that is your radius. So this is known as the radius. This is known as our diameter. Okay. Now, if we want to get the radius from the diameter, what that means is that we need to say, we're going to do radius equals diameter divided by 2. Because remember, if we're given the diameter, which goes all the way across, we need to cut it in half to get the radius. And that's how we actually use that formula to help us. So if we're looking at this radius right here, okay, and let's switch to a green. And we want to find out, okay, well, how much filling, how much inside is going to be there, which is the area. So we're going to do area equals pi r squared. Now we're going to take out this pi and put in 3.14. And remember, we're now going to use the radius, which is 5. And remember, when something's squared, we take it and multiply it by itself. So this is going to be that 5 times 5. And then all you have to do is grab your calculator. This is what's nice. 3.14 times 5 times 5. And then our area equals, sorry about that, guys. Area equals 78.5 inches. And because it's area, it's squared. So that would give us our area for this particular circle. If we want to find the circumference, so that crusty, wonderful crust area on pizzas, C equals 2 times pi times the radius. So we're going to do 2, and then we're going to taking out that pi symbol, and remember we're putting in that 3.14 and multiplying it by the radius, which is 5. And so on our calculator, 2 times 3.14 times 5, and our circumference equals 31.4 inches. Now, circumference is not squared, only area is squared. Okay, so that's kind of all there is. Let's do some more circles and we can see. So let me grab a circle, because you guys know how bad I am at actually drawing these things. And let's say we're actually given, this time, we're given the diameter of 20 centimeters. Okay, so remember what we have to do to find the radius equals diameter divided by 2. So the radius here would be 10 centimeters. Okay, we're going to use our 2 formulas. So to find the area is going to be that pi r squared, taking out the pi, putting in 3.14, and we just found the radius and we decided that was 10 centimeters. Okay, so that means it's 10 times 10. So 3.14 times 10 times 10, and then the area is going to be 314 centimeters squared. Do not forget about that squared, because that's area. And now if we want to find the circumference, we are going to find that crust, that wonderful crust on pizza, and that's 2 pi r. You are going to need to memorize these formulas, okay? So on a test or something, you will not be able to use them, so make sure that you memorize them. So this is going to be 2, and then we're going to take out the pi symbol, put in 3.14, and our radius, which we found, which was at 10 centimeters. So 2 times 3.14 times 10, and our circumference equals 62.8 centimeters. And remember that this is kind of what we do. This is how this works. Okay? So let's try some more. I might even give you a you try. Okay. Here's one circle, and then I need another circle. Okay, there we go. Now, this circle, okay, that's supposed to be in the middle, sorry, has a radius of 7.2 inches. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Area equals pi r squared, okay? Taking out the pi, I'm putting in 3.14. They gave us our radius. It's a decimal, that's okay. So it's 7.2 times 7.2. So calculator 3.14 times 7.2 times 7.2, and we get a really long number. And so I'm glad we kind of got that. 162.776. So depending on what we're working on, it might be round to the nearest tenth, round to the nearest hundredth. In this case, I want us to work on rounding to the nearest hundredth. So that's that second number after the decimal. So this is the one I want to round, so I need to look at this number to the right. This is above 5. If it's 5 and higher, this number right here, that 7 right there, needs to go up. If it were 5 or lower, or I'm sorry, 4 or lower, we would just leave it alone. So this is going to be rounded to 162.78 inches squared, just because of that 6. Okay, so what we're going to do is just kind of make it so that we're rounding everything to the hundredths place. Okay, so let's say we have this one, and this time this is going to be, let's make it 25 feet across. This is a pretty big circle. So if it is 25 feet across, and let's say we want to find the circumference. Circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius. But the first thing we have to do is find the radius. So remember, radius equals our diameter divided by 2. Our diameter is 25, so this is going to be 25 divided by 2. And I got 12.5. Hopefully you guys got that too. Okay, so this is what we're going to use for our radius. And so now we have our 2. We're taking out the pi symbol and putting in 3.14. Taking out that r and putting in 12.5. So 2 times 3.14, whoops, I forgot the 3, times 12.5. And somehow I have this on my brain. We get 78.5 feet. And that would be the circumference of this circle. So we didn't find the area and circumference of both. We just found the area of one circle and we found the circumference of another circle. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 to try. Okay, and so let's draw this out first. Here's my one circle. Here's my other circle. Okay, and let's say we're going to have, oh, it's supposed to go all the way across. Sorry about that. 13 feet here. And here we will have, sorry, that's supposed to be a straight line, guys. 8 inches. Okay. Try and find the area and circumference of both of them. Remember, you need to use your radius and you need to use the formulas. Area is pi r squared. Circumference is 2 pi r. Please pause the video, try them, and then we'll come back. Okay, awesome. So I've done some of the work. For the first one, found that the radius is 6.5. Remember, we're finding the area. So I get, again, that really big number. I want to take my hundredths place, again, second one, and I'm looking to the right. Because this is 5 and higher, this tells me this 6 needs to become a 7. So this is really going to be 132.67 feet squared, and that is going to be my area, because we had to round it. So if we're doing the circumference, though, with that 2 pi r, 2 times 3.14 times 6.5, so 2 times 3.14 times 6.5, and our circumference is 40.82 feet. So we have our area here, we have our circumference here. Check to make sure that you got that, okay? So let's look at this one. This one, our second circle. If you need to pause the video, please pause it, come back. Area equals pi r squared, and it's kind of nice because we're already given the radius. So this is going to be that 3.14 times 8 times 8. So 3.14 times 8 times 8, and we get 200.96. Area equals 200.96 inches squared. And because they didn't ask, because we didn't need to round anything, because it's just that 96 is already in the hundredths place, we're good. Now we're going to go to our circumference, which is 2 times pi times radius. So 2 times 3.14 times 8 times 3.14 times 8. And our circumference gives us 50.24 inches. Okay, and that's it. Go ahead, give this a try. Try the activities. Let me know if you have questions. Bye, guys.